At the clinic, the student athletes taught the kids how to chip, drive, and putt the ball. But their biggest piece of advice for the youngsters wasn't about technique at all. Head coach Kip Droud notched his first win since joining Georgia Southern. And tonight they defeated Savannah State 64-48. With 4 players in double digits, he said it was more of a team win. Data games have helped bring in record crowds. But the teams all agree that it's a lot more than just about the numbers. The team has come a long way since the beginning of the season, and that was certainly shown in tonight's performance. But on Saturday, they have an even bigger opportunity to prove themselves when they face top-seeded Little Rock at Hanner Fieldhouse. The 5th-seeded Eagles play their first game in the Sun Belt Tournament on Thursday against South Alabama. Tip-off is set for 5 p.m. Central Time here in New Orleans. Georgia Southern's first bowl game ever, and they picked up a win tonight. Once again, the Georgia Southern men's basketball team knocked down another conference foe for the second time this week, beating App State 88-63 on Thursday. And this win was extra special as it was DeVinci Boykin's last game in Hanner Fieldhouse. Head track and field coach Kelly Carter is no stranger to the Paralympics. In fact, he's been involved for almost 13 years. However, this year he has a particularly familiar face with him.
His first international experience is just something that I'm looking forward to being a part of.
That familiar face happened to be the Eagles manager, Carlos McCormick. Although he's visually impaired, that didn't stop him from working toward his goals.
I get to represent Team USA in a couple weeks.
Carlos is a great story. He's one of my favorite people. And I'm happy that we actually get a chance to experience this together.
McCormick went from foster care to a school for the blind, where he first got involved. His teacher, a former Paralympian, helped him apply to be an ambassador at the 2008 Games in Bangkok.
The one thing they kept pushing and emphasizing was, in 4 years, this could be you. You could be marching into the stadium with the American delegation. So when I got back to the U.S., I said, that's what I want to do.
Since then, he was coached by current cross-country coach Franz Holmes, who actually got his start through Coach Carter.
I don't coach him personally, but I coached his coach and got him involved in Paralympics and as a guide runner.
Carter and McCormick flew to Qatar last week, a flight that took 21 hours. And despite temperatures reaching up to 116 degrees, it's all worth it to them.
I love coaching. To differentiate between whether it's Paralympics or what we call able-body, the able-body running, it really doesn't matter to me. You know, as long as somebody wants to go and give 100%, I'll be with that.
And by doing what he loves, he hopes to spread the word about the Paralympics.
And I just hope that this brings visibility again to what Georgia Southern brings to this movement, that it doesn't matter about the disability, it matters about the ability.
For GSEagles.com, I'm Tricia Fishbune. Defensive end Lenny Richardson is pretty familiar with adversity. From the death of his mother and grandmother when he was younger, to facing multiple injuries. For him, football has helped him overcome these setbacks throughout the years.
Oh, it taught me, it taught me a lot about life. It taught me how to be, disciplined and just approach everything, from a different perspective. It teaches you, to bond with other players, so you can take that into, the real world.
But football isn't the only thing that taught him about discipline and teamwork. Richardson joined the Army after playing for Troy and Georgia Southern back in 2008. I
really need to get my life back on track, so I figured if I joined the Army, it would help me with all that. So by the time I got out and came back, I was more focused and I really know what I wanted to do in life.
After taking 4 years off of college football, Richardson returned to the Eagles in 2013 to come back stronger than ever. Since his time here at Georgia Southern, he's worked under 3 head coaches, including current head coach Willie Fritz.
Richardson is just a fine young man, well, obviously 4 years of service to our country, but he's got 3 children. He's 27 years old. He's going to be finishing up his degree. He's battled through all sorts of injuries and adversity.
I always told myself I wanted to finish whatever I started. So I wanted to graduate college and finish playing football. So that was one of my biggest factors coming back to school.
With his many accomplishments, both on and off the field, and his maturity, the team looks up to Richardson.
You can tell the guys have a lot of respect for him, as which they should. He's seen it all, done it all, and and he talks. I kind of watch, and the guys, listen to him. And
Richardson and the Eagles face the Citadel on Saturday for Military Appreciation Day. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. For gseagles.com, I'm Tricia Fishbune. Pink ribbons flood the football world in October, but wide receiver A.J. Sims and his family brought gold ribbons into the mix this year.
We have to do something to let people know these little kids are fighting for their lives.
Alan, the youngest of 3 brothers, was diagnosed with cancer in 2006. So the Sims helped put on the Georgia Southern Gold Ribbon Game, where coaches sported the ribbons to raise awareness.
It just shows that they really care, and that's really touched me.
If you know Alan, he's very quiet. He's not one to go out and outspoken. So he still wanted to do something to show that he is a survivor, that he is there to show that he cares, but also just to let people know that we need more awareness.
AJ found out that his brother had cancer during the middle of one of his football games. And since then, he's used Alan's strength as an example when things get tough.
My mom called me and told me that Alan was in the hospital because he had cancer, and she put him on the phone, and I just broke down crying because he's just like, AJ, I know you love football, go out there and do the best. If my little brother can go through what he went through, then I can go through this football thing.
Although AJ found strength through Alan's fight, he also hopes to be a good role model to his 2 brothers when he's on the field.
I wanted them to be so proud of me that I was their big brother. At the end of the day, nothing I'm doing is for me right now. It's for the ones that's following me. So whenever I see them in the stands watching me, I put my best foot forward.
For gseagles.com, I'm Tricia Fishbune.